Mafioso, that Lone Ranger for them. So it is a 3v3 on the north edge with Alpha 7 and Na'Vi. Team Spirit lost another blank. They're down to 2 players alive, and they're looking to try and chase towards that 60-point margin, stay alive for a little bit longer. They have got a position, so we'll see how much further they can go. Lemon regrouping with the rest of Na'Vi, but they haven't been able to find an opening towards Alpha 7. Both of them, however, get into this next stage circle.
Stage 6 probably going to be the one that causes the most problems for these teams. This particular area, very an Alpha 7 area actually, over on this western side. I think I've seen at least 2 matches go to chicken dinners for Alpha 7 over on this forested area of the map, just because Revo was so good with the DBS, just in and out, ducking around, being able to find those shots through the trees. Real blast of the past of previous PMGCs, honestly. Na'Vi, though, doing a good job holding this high ground. Obviously, they lost a player earlier on, but that was much earlier. And still playing as 3 is not too bad. Again, super open around this spot. A lot of teams will be taking casualties left, right, and center.
Donkey ID as well. We talked about their position a bit earlier. I'm looking for them to really start to leverage now. Over towards shots on the south side. I'm thinking maybe over towards DRX, although it's difficult to find the lineups. D plus Kia going to try and move through the ground, but the question is how much can they hold out this east edge? And I think Alpha 7 is their major threat right now. As an approach from that east side could be viable for Alpha 7 to try and go for. With this shift as well, I think it may be what we're going to see from the Brazilians.
Yeah, they're trying to remove Na'Vi, and then likely they'll attempt to play around that compound from Donkey ID. The Vicious, though, tough plan for them getting out. Luckily, Team Spirit as well as Thunder Talks have been taking knocks, and the Vicious might just be able to, with a shovel, excavate themselves from this location. Good shot over towards Matic, will flush him out. I believe it's just 1 player left remaining now for Team Spirit in Kitsune. 3 eliminations on the game, though. It's not terrible. That sits themselves just 11 points behind 4MV at the end of the day.
Depending on how many placements they can get as teams start to fall, this approach is going to be treacherous. 10 teams are remaining here, Blank, into stage 6. We're getting a little bit into the weeds on it, but 29 players, we're seeing dribs and drabs of players making it through. Na'Vi trying to sweep back over towards the Falcons, who have been fighting on for a long, long time now. Just Icy on top. The Vicious making their move now as well. The roll-up. There's a potential roll out for Kitsune, moving a little bit closer, trying to get into some ditches, some defilades to stay safe. RCB under pressure on the south side as D+ make their push from the south edge as well. Wild holding his nerve, but Loxy's down, and so he is just the 1 player.
A lot of teams at the moment struggling going forward. The Vicious thought that they got themselves out from that tough spot on that northwest side. It's not meant to be. Falcons once again close the door on them. I'll have to move through that one in the meantime. D+ down towards that southwest edge. They did a great job, honestly. Chips were doing so much scouting earlier on, which allowed them to make these kind of rotations.
Ooh. A nasty little trade there. The roll down, the Vicious going to go straight over the Falcons, and their approach to Na'Vi can now continue. They managed to find 1. They tumble down the hillside. Weapons bristling from the windows, and it's going to spike down Na'Vi into the dust. Losing 1 on the roll-up. Bruno's in. May be able to get rezzed here, though. They've got some cover and a little bit of time to play with.
For the Vicious, that is a very resilient hold on the northwest, and they picked their time very well on that side of things. The fact they were able to make their way in that short moment of time where it was briefly open for that crash. Wonderful stuff. Great nade. Unfortunate finish there for Team Spirit. Will be going down in 8th place, but Na'Vi will pick themselves up 5 eliminations. It's been a very generous map, I would say, in terms of offering up points to practically everybody, and that's RCB out now too, which leaves us with a very quick from 10 teams, now just down to 6.
Just D+ Kia again to be able to get 7 elims so far. They're in with a solid spot on the southwest. This is potentially a back-to-back really strong resurgence from D+ Kia into Miramar. And I'm happy to see it. South Korea definitely on the up at the end of day 1 here. The question is how much further can they go? DRX right across the ridgeline with just their outpost, Kaikse, on that south edge. We'll put them on notice if he wants to step up. Does have full information on D plus Kier. He's not going for the peaks right now because he knows he doesn't have the backup from the rest of the team. If he gets knocked, that's it. But Chips hits the deck and immediately can see Kaixei wants to step up. That may have been spotted. No, I don't think so, as DRX still yet to go for that full roll-up. However, the circle means that it's likely going to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't send on to either D+ or Void Donkey, so this will force a fight between both of them in that end game. I think both Void Donkey and D+, though, happy just to hold out their positions, whilst all the rest of the teams likely will be a scrap between the both of them, unless Alpha 7 has anything to say about it. Currently on your screens at the moment, Soez with the M249 doing a ton of damage through to them right now. Probably the least accuracy in the world, but it was effective.
Hey man, when you've got that many rounds in the magazine, you just need a few of them to connect, and that is how he's going to play it on the hold. It's effective here, and DRX with 3, fending off Alpha 7's roll-arounds. 2 of their players fall quickly. Carrillo turns away with the buggy. QXZ with the rotate out towards the tractor, gets caught. Carrillo is still fighting through. Hyunbin now, actually the last to stand. Kaixei got taken down on the off angle, and the spray downs underneath for Carrillo. He needs to stand up for Alpha 7.
How is he alive?
Again, no! The shutdown comes through, and it's DRX to weather the approach. Hyunbin on a sliver of HP.
That's basically Frankenstein, pieced together by sewing string. I can't believe he lived that one, honestly. Had the pump shotgun around the side as well, just peeking out. Good stuff. Hyunbin very well might just deny the point here. Void Donkey making a big push over towards the Vicious. All popping off, actually. Every single team is looking to stab over towards the Vicious. D+ going in, Chips remains on the outside, but this is a full assault coming through from Void Donkey ID.
Tato with the challenge, 1v1, wins it now. Attention turned towards D+ Kier. 4 versus 4, a little bit low on the HP bar, and the first knock goes the way of D+ Kier. They find the second as well. Now Razak on the high ground needs to get something done. Will find that opener, still dipping out into the blue, confirms the flush, but turned around on. Potato now on the off angle, tries to keep it together, but with 3 players to D+ Kier, the order is tall, but he might be able to stand up to the mark. Nolbu finds those flushes on the back line. And it is now 3 players bearing down upon Potato, looking for the res onto Vexy. A 2v3 is possible.
That's an unfortunate situation. Honestly, if Vexy was alive there, totally different fight. Because they have to come off the broadside on that hill. It's so unfortunate that Vexy goes down in that situation, because that pretty much would have just been a complete cleanup for Void Donkey. I have no doubt in my mind that Vexy would have hit those shots. And like you say, we're into a 2v3. Chips was basically nowhere to be seen as well, by the way. It would have been a 4v3 in that situation.
But they're back up into it now. Nades going either way. The reflex outs coming through from Void Donkey ID. 1 pick-off, and then they're into an even battle. That is how you need to play these 2v3s. To find those small little openings, those over-aggressions from D+ Kier. The middle of the circle, necessary to keep under control as well.
Nice shot from Nolbu. Vexy barely shows his head. He takes off tufts of hair in the process. Early haircut, apparently. Tato, though, getting scarily close. From 3 nades, it actually is somewhat worrisome for them. Vexy heads up first, will send a nade over the top. Good damage indeed.
That looks like a good nade, but it's not going to be responded on towards the MG3 for Vexy. He's going to charge forwards. Osal's low, gets caught, clipped.
No.
And that is the opportunity they were looking for. Finding that opening knock, it's 2v3. There's damage already sent over towards Nolbu, and the nade looks to be on target. Confirming the flush doesn't quite connect with the nade, but the damage is done. The Molotov on the high ground, but there's that answer that they were looking for. Chips is storming forwards in the meantime. The MG3 out of action, and it is D+ Kier to be able to win out that final little scrap. An excellent result for them, coming off of a strong Miramar into a chicken dinner on the Miramar.